Hey there. So this week we're going to continue a little bit of what we were doing with software last week. And so we're going to look at this idea of licensing schemes and copyright. And I'm going to actually make a separate video that goes along with the slides that will go into a lot more detail on that. So for this video, let's keep it short. Let me show you what to look for, and then I'll go make that other video. So this week, we're in week 9. We hit the tipping point. We're over halfway through. So that's kind of exciting and a little nerve-wracking altogether. Hopefully you checked out last week the playlist. I'm trying this out. All the same videos are broken out into all these other blocks, right? But you might just want to click the video playlist and then go through them all at once. That's up to you. It'll make a little more sense when you watch the other video about how they all tie together. The one that I'm going to put on right now, this copyright, copy wrong slides. The slides are here. And when I get done making the video that goes along with the slides will be on here also. But all of those videos all have to do with this subject. And so again, I'm not going to go into that too much right here. So as always, start off with the checklist. The checklist will help you get oriented and get organized, and it'll give you details about what we're doing on here. So that's a good place to start. And let's go down a little bit. So there's a couple of videos in the think section, and I found this one called Don't Copy That Floppy. It's actually called Don't Copy That 2, and it's like version 2 of the Don't Copy That Floppy video, because we don't really use floppies anymore. And it's still a couple of years old. The video, it's actually, I think it's like 10 years old, but the information's really good. But it's super funny because it's like a 12-minute video, and the first 4 minutes is this really corny rap video. Anyhow, you just got to watch it. There's like weird stuff and Klingons from Star Trek and all kinds of crazy stuff in the first 4 minutes. And then they actually get to some really good information about copyright issues. This other video is part of a much longer video, but I gave you the short one. However, if you come to the checklist and to the think section, you'll see there's the short version, which is what's linked in class. There's a longer version, which is about an hour long. I actually listened to the whole thing earlier today. It's really interesting. And Lawrence Lessig is giving this talk. I think it's to the Swedish. I feel like I should know this. It's like like their Congress. I'm not sure what they Parliament, maybe to the Swedish Parliament. Anyhow, so that's who he's giving this full talk to. And he makes a really interesting use of slides in either one. Since we're doing presentation software this week, in either one, there it's a video of him, but every once in a while they pan up to where his slides are. And he's actually famous for the way he creates slides and uses slides. It's called the Lessig method. And so see if you can see what's interesting about that while you're watching it. And then there's a Q&A session afterwards. So they split it into 2 parts. They've got the talk and they've got the Q&A session. Lots of interesting stuff there. When we jump into Zoom next time, not this week, but in week 11, these are some of the questions that we're going to bring up that we'll talk about. So make sure you check over that. Then down here in the Learn section, there's a little bit about open source versus closed source software. And then there's something about copyright forever less than 1 day. That's a really interesting video because it talks about George Lucas, like Star Wars George Lucas, and how copyright might impede his ability to eat if he didn't have copyright. Anyhow, watch the video. It's really interesting. And then we're going to jump into some Creative Commons videos. And Creative Commons is actually Lawrence Lessig founded Creative Commons as a way to respond to the changing landscape of how copyright works. Again, we'll talk about that in the other video a little bit more. Anyhow, so there's a couple of Creative Commons videos, and then there's this fair use tale video. I have to tell you, this is one of the most annoying videos I've ever seen. However, it's super good because there are certain circumstances under which you can use copyrighted material, but they're very specific. And so this video was created, I'm not even sure how long ago. The main video's got, I had to link to the YouTube to another version of it here, but the main video, I want to say it's got like over 10 or 11 or 12 million views. It gets used a lot. And what they did is they took clips from Disney movies, and Disney is one of the most locked down, copyrighted media there is. Okay. So they made this whole thing out of clips from Disney movies to illustrate how you can use copyrighted material under a fair use license. So I think you'll find it interesting. Maybe put on the subtitles. It might make it a little easier to follow. I don't know. It might make it a little harder to follow. And then on your assignments for this week, there's a Creative Commons license selector assignment. Make sure you watch all the videos and stuff first. But there's a couple of parts here, and I made a how-to video. It's supposed to be a 2-minute tech talk. It ended up being a 6-minute tech talk, but I didn't change the name. It's still a 2-minute tech talk. Anyhow, what you're going to do is create a license for yourself for something that you have developed. So just in this class, you've created a couple of Google documents. You've created an intro video. You did some digital media images that you posted. You've done lots of tweets. This week, you're creating a video for your presentation or your slides. So so you've created a lot just in this class, okay? And just so just for the purpose of illustrating how this works, pick one of those things, okay? It doesn't even matter which one, just pick one, all right? And then what you're gonna do is go through this process of creating a license, all right? And so when you go to I just realized I didn't put the link on here, so I got to put a link to where the license is. All right, but I will do that. It says in the video, it shows you in the video where it is, but I'll make sure to add that here. Anyhow, so what you're going to do is you're going to create a license going through these steps that are shown in the video. You're going to take a couple of screenshots, which I also show in the video of what to screenshot. And I have some demos down here. And then what you're going to do is copy you're going to read the recommended license piece. It'll show this all in the video, okay? And then you're going to copy that to this text box. So what you're going to upload to this assignment will be 2 screenshots that look like this. So when you're all done putting in your information, it gives you it's kind of a column, but it's 2 screens long. It's a little long. So break it into these 2 pieces. Otherwise, it'll be like teeny tiny and I won't be able to read it. All right. So copy the recommended license based on what you said. It'll say this is your recommended license. And then here's how you use your license. And this will show what you would actually put on a web page or put on the document. There's a couple of different versions. There's an HTML version you can embed. This is kind of interesting. The print work or media version gives you just a plain text that you could put in the bottom of a document. And so it's pretty usable, actually. And then the second piece of that is when you click this red link or orange link, I don't know how it looks on your screen. Anyhow, it looks a little orangish on my screen. At the top of that, when you click that, it goes to what they call a human readable summary page. Now, and I did part of it. I didn't like capture the whole page here, but it breaks the page into 3 parts. And it up here, it says this: you are free to, under the following terms, and here's the notices. On this assignment, so you're going to attach the 2 screenshots, and then you're going to just copy, you're free to, boom, here's what this means. You are, just copy this page into this assignment. Now, do me a favor. If you come to this assignment and you don't see these pictures, please let me know. Because in some browsers, for some reason, when I embed pictures and sometimes even video, it doesn't show up. And so I'm trying to figure out under what conditions it does work and doesn't work. So you should come to this assignment, this Creative Commons license selector assignment. You should see a link to the video. It won't play right here. It's not embedded, I don't think. Yeah, it's not embedded. It just goes directly to the video. And then come down here and you should see these pictures. So let me know if you don't. So that has to do with our topic for the week, but our Zoom call this week at hand actually has to do with presentation software. So if you recall from last time, we talked about this. When almost everybody is signed up for Zoom, there's a few people that aren't, so I'll be poking those couple of people. And even if you come and don't give your talk, okay, even if you decide not to do that, there's still points to be had because there's a constructive feedback form. And there's a link to that. So let me open that up directly. And on this form, it's pretty simple. Okay. And here's some instructions. So you should read this part before you come to class, before you come to Zoom, okay? And reviewer, who are you? Pick your name. Who are you reviewing? Pick their name. It's in alphabetical order by first name because usually everybody puts at least their first name on their slides. What was the title of the presentation? That's just a check, to be honest, because sometimes people will check the wrong person, but if they've got at least the title, then I can match it up and I can fix it. And then, did you watch this live in Zoom during a Zoom meeting? I'm going to have a link to people's videos. So did you watch, or did you watch it on video? You might have done both. I don't know. So just check however you watched it. And then there's only 3 things that you have to put down. And this is for each talk. And we'll do this in Zoom. So you'll have this up while somebody's talking. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest, how interesting was this talk? Give it a point. On a scale of 1 to 5, how effective were the slides? And if you want to know what I'm looking for, watch the Death by PowerPoint video, and it's everything that's the opposite of that. It's not too complicated. No clashing colors. Is it easy to read? Does it support whatever they're talking about? We're not getting into too nitty-gritty details, but in your mind, was it effective? And then give some constructive feedback and include at least one question you have about the topic. So there's 3 things here. Let me go back up to the top because I have some details on those 3 things. Comment on the effectiveness of the slides based on the resources we viewed last week. Review the interesting question based on how well the speaker shared their subject, shared their topic. And then give constructive feedback that would help the speaker improve their talk and or slides. What would be helpful? If you felt the entire thing went really well, like if they just nailed it, then get specific. Say, gosh, I really liked the way that you used pictures to illustrate this, whatever it is. I like how you looked into the camera when you talked because I felt like you were talking to me. Give constructive feedback. Don't say, wow, your colors really suck. Don't say that. Say, it was a little bit hard to read the yellow type on the red background. You might want to change your colors. So give them something that will help them improve because you'll get the same feedback too. Whatever comes in on this form, I'm going to give to each speaker. Like everybody who does this gets a copy of this with the names of the reviewer pulled out. So it's anonymous on your part. I see who did it. Like I'm going to give you points for doing the review, but the feedback that gets emailed out to everybody, that's anonymous. So don't worry. So just be honest. And we're talking just a couple of sentences again. So you're basically going to say who it is, what it is, was it interesting, how effective are the slides, and here's some feedback to help you do this better. And the feedback that everybody gives is always way better because there's like 20 of you or 25 of you and 1 of me. And so I just go down the list and I check off, I look at the rubric. Did you have a theme? Did you do formatted text? Did you do, I just go down the list and I might make a few comments. But what I have found doing it this way over the last couple of years is you guys make all the good comments. Like there's really nothing I can add for the most part over the great comments that come from the class. So I really like doing it this way. And it gives you a chance to kind of connect a little bit in a more personal way. I think that's about it. There seems to be one other thing, and I'm sure I'll come up with it right after I hit stop on the video, but that's it for now. I'll probably stick it in there at some other point. Anyhow, hope you guys have a good week. I'm going to go make the copyright video and then I'll get everything posted.